You're the target of a retirement planning brainwashing campaign, my friends. There's no other way around this. Um, we'll get into why I think here in just a second, but let's jump to this. So every morning in the morning, I wake up. I don't watch TV, so I look at my man Anonymous Conservatives blog, anonymousconservative.com blog, and a big fan. The guy crushes, love him. And he links to this article on Zero Hedge, which is linked from Epic Times. And I actually like Epic Times, but all right, so here's fewer than 60% of baby boomers have retirement accounts. All right. And the lead in says millions of working age Americans between 56 and 64 are edging closer to retirement without having savings stashed away. All right, now Zero Hedge, Epic Times, Anonymous Conservatives are all on the right. These aren't leftist propaganda machines necessarily, but the propaganda is so ingrained that even the guys on the right and the conspiracy theorists, like the Anonymous Conservative guy, they can't see through this. This is how bad the brainwashing is. It's insanity, man. And if you're just a peddling little, freaking mask wearing, Fauci, you worship Fauci, just think how deep these guys are. Think about it. Those of us on the right have been trained for many years to find other alternative to news sources because we know the media is full of lies. And even Fox News is full of lies. So we go elsewhere because we said, I don't trust any of these guys. And even we can be pulled into this retirement planning brainwashing campaign because it kind of makes sense. So again, they're equating fewer than 60% of baby boomers have retirement accounts with not having any money saved away. Census data for 2020 shows that less than 60% of American baby boomers owned a retirement account 3 years ago. Okay. That means, this is insanity. That means over 2/5 of baby boomers nearing retirement had no retirement savings. You can't make that freaking claim. Epic Times. You can't say because they have no retirement account, they have no retirement savings. You're brainwashed. Let's keep reading. Let's see. The U.S. Census Bureau defined retirement accounts as a 401k, 403b, TSP, IRA, KEO, defined benefit, and cash balance plans. Oh my goodness, this drives me so insane. So if I have $1 million in a brokerage account, that I'd have no retirement savings. Epic Times. Look, guys, and I like the Epic Times. I'm a subscriber. I like Zero Hedge. I like this. I like Anonymous Conservative. These guys fell for it. The psyop that says, oh my goodness, they don't have a retirement account defined in this way, thus they're not ready for retirement. Oh my goodness, it's so insane. They're going to go down and say, my generation, I think I'm Generation X, only 56% had a retirement account, and millennials only had one. Half of millennials had one. Meanwhile, just 7.7% of Americans fall under the Gen Z, 15 to 23, own retirement accounts. Okay. Anyway, so on a separate report from Transamerica Center for Retirement Studies, there's no incentive there to scare you. A similar trend noting that baby boomers have been susceptible to employment risks. Wait. Susceptible to employment risks. I think I just talked about the video I did yesterday. I said, that's why you need to have some savings. Not just an emergency fund, more than that. Because you are susceptible to employment risk, especially as you get older. There is age discrimination, my friends. You know it, I know it, we all know it. And no one's doing a thing about it. The report is based on, let's see. Hold on a sec. This report from Transamerica, which I've already destroyed, found just 23% of baby boomers feel very confident they can retire with a comfortable lifestyle, while 48% are somewhat confident. Okay. Well, that's 48 plus 23 is what, 72%, right? And 71% are confident they can retire with a comfortable lifestyle. That's okay. We'll take that. 16% not too confident, and 14% are not confident at all. Okay. Just 22% say they believe they're currently building a large enough retirement nest egg. All right. I mean, we've already destroyed that. I'm not going to get to that here real quick. Oh, when it comes to their primary source of income retirement, approximately 40% cited Social Security. However, says Epic Times, the average monthly benefit is only $1,700. According to the Center for Budget and Policy Priorities, the big lip. So the fact that Epic Times is quoting the CBPP is it's just the whole. It's a psyop. It's a brainwashing. Only 40. Most people, approximately 40%, said the primary source of income is Social Security. But yet, Josh, only the average Social Security check is only $1,700. So if you're one of those 40%, your primary source of Social Security, good luck living off $21,000, pal. But that's not how it works. I don't get the average benefit. I get my benefit, which is what I want it to be, depending on when I take it. I mean, it's insanity, man. And then we got this cost of living crisis. Oh, right here. Oh, good. So here we can say, however, statistics from BLS shows that the average American household, headed by someone 65 and up, spend an average of about $50,000 a year. Okay. But Josh, you can't use the average Social Security check for the average household. Sure I can. If we're going to use one, we can use the other two. So you have $24,000 a year from Social Security, roughly. We spend $48,000 a year. Well, the average check includes myself and my wife. And let's just say she gets half of mine. That's another. We have $36,000 in Social Security on average, and that's with the low Social Security average checks. The average household spending with someone above 65 is $48,000. That means I need $12,000 a year from other sources of income. Oh, but I don't have any other sources of income according to Epic Times because I don't have a retirement account for 40% of the population. 60% do, and it does. You did not know this, but you cannot live off a brokerage account. Brokerage account, you can't live off that. So if you have a cash and a savings account, cash and a certificate of deposit, you have a money market account, you have a brokerage account, you can't live off that because only retirement account savings, IRAs, 401ks, TSPs, can be used for retirement funding. The whole thing's so freaking stupid. It's such a big psyop. Now let's just read. I haven't read this right here. Meanwhile, households headed by someone between the ages of 65 and 74. Man, my eyes are getting bad. My short vision. Spent $54,000 annually during the same time period, while spending declined to $41,000 for people aged 75 and older. All right. And those nearing. So here, right here, $65,000 what you spend when you're nearing retirement. $53,000 when you're in retirement, deep in retirement. $41,000 when you're fully when you're an old person. It's just the whole thing's so stupid. Let's read these comments. This guy makes a good point, but I don't even want to make this point, but I like it. He goes, or perhaps they are smart in simply savings in vehicles that are hard to track. Gold, I don't know, Bitcoin's not hard to track, but whatever. I get that. I don't necessarily agree with that. Or perhaps they're just saving it in gold outside retirement accounts. Brokerage accounts. Could be that simple. Actually funny. Somebody was talking about boats. It's a investment, not an investment vehicle like to get it to grow, but so you can get on your boat and escape. This guy said the problem with boats is I keep losing money, boats, and guns on my boats. That's actually funny. No, we just went outside. All right, let's see what the Epic Times comment says. Imagine the comments from the Epic Times would be a negative on Biden. It's Biden. I mean, whatever. Let's just see here. And again, that's part of the brainwashing. We got, they're going to blame us. We're going to blame them. And as a, let's open the comments. Hold on a second. I did not know this, but Falun Gong is featured primary in the titles of the Epic Times. I find that interesting and somewhat. I just find that interesting. Actually, I'll leave it at that. All right. So what happens to those so-called retirement accounts when the federal government goes bust? In order to save for retirement, one has to have extra income. Have you seen the economy? Blame Sniffy Joe. I was asked by some of my coworkers if the 401k our employer was rolling out was wise to buy into. It's surprising they couldn't figure that out, but it's puzzling to them. All right, let's see. If you are wise enough to invest and set money aside, you will be rewarded by the government funding every way to take it from you. Can you imagine living like this, dude? The government's going to come get you. You better not grow any tomato plants. They're going to come get you. Somehow this doesn't ring true for me. I'd be more inclined to think boomers answered this way as an mind your own business. I know I would have, 100%. The government is going to take it all away. This guy's probably laughing about that. Anyway, hope these people wise up and stop voting for Democrats. 65 years old, retired at 58, never made close to $100,000 and not collecting Social Security, living large. Living large, young, pay later doesn't work. So he did what most of my clients do, which is he just dug the ditches. He kept his head down. He paid the taxes. He paid the bills. Probably has no car loan, guarantee he's got no debt. He's probably driving a 2007 Toyota Tundra. His wife drives a 2013 Toyota Camry, or he actually probably drives a 2007 Ford F-150, and he's just freaking crushing. Huh. I wonder if there are other people that are doing that. I wonder. Oh, yeah, well, because I talk to them every day. But Josh, you're just one person. You can't talk to that many people a day. Yeah, I talk to hundreds of people a year, and I've been talking to hundreds of people a year since 1998. At some point, the anecdotal evidence becomes empirical. You can observe it. And you observe it, the vast, vast majority of retirees are living okay. Some are doing great. Some are doing okay. The vast are getting by just fine. It's so why do they brainwash us? I think actually it comes down to a fundamental couple things. We know for a fact if you work, you don't have enough time to actually investigate the world around you. I'm telling you, man. I was never into the V's. By about 2013 or 14, I started to get suspicious of the V's of this. You know what I'm saying? Even though in 2009 and 10, when we lived in Texas, Rick Perry is going to mandate the HPV for girls in Texas. And I said, yeah, man, yeah, absolutely. You know, because I believed hook, line, and sinker what the propaganda was on the V's. Thankfully, I was able to think. I've always been a thinker, an outside the box thinker. So I'm not getting. Anyway, I was able to look deep into the V's to say, yeah, this doesn't make sense what we've been told. And I remember the litany of on this when I was on Facebook, the visceral hatred towards me for question. Not even saying don't do it, but just say, do we know this works? It was crazy. It reminded me so much of the gun control debates. Oh, you want kids to die, and the climate change stuff. It was literally the same. It's the same thing. And I knew that people who are pro gun control, pro climate change, are just brainwashed. They're just not thinking people, man. They don't have a sense. They just are literally brainwashed. They might be NPCs for all I know. They might be bots. They're real people, but are there actually any souls in there? I don't know. And then when I got the same arguments against the V's, I said, I'm not saying they're bad. I'm just wondering. And I said, whoa. And I woke myself up to recognize the level of hatred towards me for questioning the orthodox means I'm something's going on here. Anyway, but that was it. And then when I quit my job in 2017, I started my business, what I'm doing now. I was able to do some more research on various things to take the time. And then the world opened up. I said, oh, the world isn't what we've been told. It's just not. The whole world around us is different. What you can see with your eyes and your ears and just your gut feeling, you know how the world works, but that goes against what science tells us, what government tells us, what media tells us, what propaganda tells us, on both the right and left. The right wants you to be anti-Biden so they can get money. The left wants you to be anti-whatever so they can get money. It's just that simple, man. That simple. And power. Keep us at odds. Anyway, so what happened was they want you to still work because when you work, you know, it's going to be the bread and circuses, football and pornography and alcohol. Football, pornography, and alcohol. Football, look, we all fall. I'm telling you, dude, we all fall for it. I get it 100%. 100%. And that's where they keep you mind numbed. And they can brainwash you to think you better strive away. There's a second part of this, though, is that, remember, Social Security, you're only collecting your top 35 years of index earnings. So if you have 45 years of earnings, and index just means essentially adjusted with the average wage index. If you have 45 years of earnings, 10 of those years aren't being used to calculate your Social Security benefit. And so if you take our trusted calculator, if you have 45 years of earnings, and they're only calculating 33, you're 35, they're basically, you're 10 divided by 45, 20, almost a quarter of your work is being wasted when it comes to Social Security. You're funding the system, not funding you. And so the longer they can keep you working, the more you pay into the system, and also the more brainwashed you become. And I think that's ultimately, I think it's a twofer here. They're saying, look, let's get these people brainwashed so we can control them, you know, pit them versus, you know, put these guys against each other. And let's have them pay more into Social Security because they don't know how it works, and they're only going to get their top 35 years of index earnings. So they keep working for an extra 10 years. That's the money they won't get. That's the money that we will get as a government. And we need it. I mean, they don't really need it. They can do whatever the hell they want. Anyway, I just encourage you to think about that. When you read articles, say, is this part of the brainwashing? Is this part of the psyop? What they're trying to get me to believe, because look at the brainwashing that is done after 9/11. The brainwashing is done with COVID. The brainwashing is done with the green stuff. The brainwashing is done with gun control. Look at all these things. It's all fake, dudes. All fake brainwashing. We got to get those Muslims over there before they get us over here. And I fell for it. 100% I fell for it. You know what I'm saying? I don't know why I never fell for gun control. It's weird. I don't know why. But I never felt. It just made no sense to me. It's like, why would me having a firearm violate someone else's personal freedom? I'm not going to shoot anybody. You know what I'm saying? Stupid. But I never fell for that. I guess I was just libertarian in some capacity from day one. But when their brainwashing campaign kicks in, it's hard to beat it back. It's hard. And that's why you got to find a group of people. Let me show you you got to find a group of people who are self-minded, who are independent thinking, that you can rely on to at least maybe not know your truth necessarily, but at least have a thought process that is different than the mainstream. This like homesteading prepper group, somewhat, I don't want to say explicitly Christian necessarily. A lot of these people are righteous Christians on here, some Muslims on there and stuff, some Jews. But it's not explicitly Christian. It's more just homesteading, gardening, Bertaria Times, app.Bertaria Times. And you can see like we got Maine, Georgia, just tons of people on here, raising gardens right here. So October, I want to do a little experiment. I left my jack-o'-lantern pumpkins in 3 different places in my front yard to see what happened. Here's the result. Look at that. And they're just booming. That's fantastic. So we're going to like that because that freaking kicks ass. Look at that. Look at that. And and this is where I learned about electroculture, for instance, where you put copper wire into your plant, the basis of your plants. And just to escape the brainwashing, you have to be, you want to be part of other communities that aren't themselves brainwashed. Now, everyone can be brainwashed. I might be brainwashed in various things, but the brainwashing is real, man. And it's not benefiting you. Finnegan, hey, it's hurting you. Find a way to escape it. I don't care how you do it. It might be your church community. And, just get this guy real quick. All right, we're going to go for a walk. No, I'm going to take these guys for a walk. Let's go, boys. God bless. Don't forget to subscribe. Look at my the last week of my retirement planning course for 50% off. Use coupon code TAX. Subscribe to my email as list, all in the doobly-doo. And Craig Israelson will be joining us live tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern to talk about how you can make your money last in retirement. See ya.